Good morning, everyone. Thank you all for being here. I'm Simin Yang, and my professor is Mengchong Zheng. My research topic is usability of the self-check-in kiosk in airports based on users' behavior mapping. With an increasing amount of passengers, airlines have successfully applied self-check-in service to provide passengers a convenient service experience. Hence, it is vital to understand passengers from their operating behavior throughout the self-serving. Leo Gender noted that the introduction of self-serve technology by airlines was key to the aviation industry agenda. Its use in ticketing, boarding procedure, and baggage consignment not only reduce labor costs, but also improve customer satisfaction. According to IATA 2009 Corporate Air Travel Survey, more than 50% of passengers worldwide said that the airport self-serve made them feel more empowered and save their time. About CUSS, IATA released its latest version of the second CUS implementation guide in December 2008. All kiosks must comply with the IATA's fourth principle. Each kiosk hardware consists of a touch screen, a passport scanner, a credit card reader, and a printer for baggage tags and boarding passes. Among them, in the interface design, the suggestion of simple to use was put forward. CUSS sets the ideal time for passengers to complete the check-in procedure to be about 1 minute. At the same time, the interface should be simple to access and personality for the passengers. In this study, the EVA Air Self-Serve Check-in Machine interface is taken as a research object. It is the highest-ranked airline in Taiwan and maintaining its 8th position in the top 10 global airline ratings for 2020. The experimental objects are 30 people who have overseas experience and have never used the EVA Air Self-Serve Check-in machine, including 15 men and 15 women. Subjects were asked to complete 4 interface tasks during which a camera records their actions. Our tasks are described in a situational manner, which are 1. Single passenger check-in with reservation code. 2. Two passenger check-in with their member card number. 3. 3 passengers check-in with e-ticket. 4. 4 passenger check-in with reservation code and change seats. After completing the task, the subjects fill out the experience questionnaire, SUS, and attractive questionnaire, which were rated with Likert 7-point scale. Finally, the semi-structured interview was conducted. According to the subjects' behavior of using the current interface, the problems of using the current interface design were proposed for reference of future design improvement. The results show that there is a lack of clear functional guidance in the current EVA Air Self-Serve Check-in interface, which is easy to cause users to misoperate it and spend more time to complete the check-in procedures. In the 4 experimental tasks, more than half of subjects could not complete Task 2 and Task 4, with failure rates of 63.3% and 97% respectively. Task 2 is to complete the check-in procedure for 2 passengers with the membership card number. Subjects must inform seat information at the end of the task so that the task is completed. In the mileage accumulation airlines page, 15 subjects were confused and hesitant, with 10 saying that they couldn't decide whether the BR on the page was the EVA Air, and 4 saying that they couldn't decide which airlines to choose. In the Enter Membership Card Number page, 11 subjects all clicked the input box because they thought they needed to click the input box before entering the card number. In the seat confirmation page, 19 subjects were unable to give their seat information and missed the page with seat information. They believe that passengers will be informed of the seat information and all the file information again in the final internal confirmation page. However, there was no seat information displayed on the current page. Task 4 is to complete the check-in procedure for 4 passengers with the reservation code and change their seats. In the Select Number page, 13 participants was unable to select the correct number of check-in people in order. According to check-in method of reservation code, only the same reservation code can check in together, but subjects said they didn't notice statement in the screen that only the same reservation code can check in together. Some subjects said they had thought they would enter the 2 groups of reservation codes separately on the following page to complete the check-in procedure. In the Cancel Seats page, 29 subjects could not change their seats by the self-serve check-in system. In the process of seat change, the original seat should be cancelled before choosing a new seat. However, the 20 subjects choose a new seat without cancelling the original seats first. After cancelling the seats, 5 subjects click the passenger's name before select a new seat. 4 subjects click on the name bar first. Try to click on a new seat when the system didn't respond. And finally, click on the cancelling the original seats. In this study, the subjects were divided into 3 groups: inexperienced users, low-experienced users, and high-experienced users, according to their experience in operating the self-serve check-in machine. Inexperienced users refer to those who have never used the self-serve check-in machine. Low-experienced users refer to those who have used the self-serve check-in machine 1 to 2 times. And high-experienced users refer to those who have used the self-serve check-in machine more than 3 times. At the same time, health factors such as the annual number of overseas trips, number of travel companies, and check-in time before earlier flight departure affect the use of self-serve check-in machine was also discussed. The annual number of overseas trips 1 to 2 times was as high as 76%, while the annual number of overseas trips 0 and 3 were 10% and 14%, respectively. The study found that even though 90% of subjects went abroad more than once a year, 44.4% of them were still unwilling to use the self-serve check-in machine to complete the check-in procedure. Those with more than 3 travel companies accounted for 43%, while those with 1 or 2 travel companies accounted for 30%. It was found that inexperienced users were more inclined to avoid using self-serve check-in machine to complete check-in procedure when the number of travel companies increased. When the number of travel companies is 0, high-experienced users are more willing to use the self-serve check-in machine to complete the check-in procedures. The maximum number of subjects who check in 2 hours before departure is accounted as 40%. It is speculated that the earlier people arrive at the airport, the more willing they are to use the self-serve check-in to complete the check-in procedure. Of those who arrived at the airport 1 hour earlier, 4 had experience with self-serve check-in machines, and 3 of them were subjects with high technology acceptance. Even as it got closer to departure time, subjects with high technology acceptance were still willing to use the self-serve check-in machine to complete the check-in procedure. The International Air Transport Association proposed in its Common Use Self-Service Implementation Guide, the second edition of CUS's standard, that passengers' ideal time to check in is about 1 minute. However, in Task 4, 4 people check in with 2 groups of reservation code and changing seat. The average check-in time was 2 minutes and 45 seconds, much longer than the standard norm. It can be seen that the current self-serve check-in service is not conducive to the use of multiple groups of reservation code for multiple people to check in. It can be seen from the score of SUS in the above table that the average score of topic 4, I think I need technical assistance to use this interface, is 2.33. The 12 subjects was higher than the average score are all inexperienced users and users with low experience. Therefore, it can be seen that the current self-serve check-in interface is more difficult for passengers with less operating experience. The average score for topic 11, prefer personal service more than self-check-in service, was 2.97, higher than average and 50% of users with zero or low experience. For passengers with less operating experience, the current self-serve check-in service cannot meet their needs. During the interview, subjects believed that there was a lack of consistency in the operation logic of different check-in in the current interface. There was a lack of guidance on the page of seat change, which caused them to make mistakes in the operation process and complete the check-in procedure after several attempts. 83% of inexperienced flyers said it is not easy to get information quickly without a flight number and destination title. They would like to see their seat information at the final travel confirmation. Both inexperienced and low experienced subjects expressed that they prefer to check in at the counter rather than using the self-serve check-in machine. According to the survey, the current self-serve check-in service cannot meet their needs. At present, due to the lack of seat-changing instruction and guidance on the interface of the self-serve check-in machine, more than 95% of subjects could not change their seats smoothly. Different operation logic of 3 different self-serve check-in modes may easily cause confusion or operation error for users with less operation experience. Nearly half of the subjects didn't understand how to check in separately with different reservation codes, so they made mistakes in doing so. The interview also found that passengers with less flying experience feel that the information on the itinerary confirmation page was incomplete. To sum up the above, 2 new design proposals are proposed for changing seats and will use in post-test experiments. It is expected to make it easier for passengers to quickly change seats. At the same time, 2 new design proposals are also proposed for multiple people using the reservation code check-in. We hope that users can also use the reservation code to check in smoothly when there is multiple people. This study's findings are conducive to integrating the problem faced by people with different operating experience. They can be used as the basis for future interface optimization to improve passengers' willingness to use the self-serve check-in system in the future. And this is the end of my presentation. Thank you.